Yeah, so today we're honored to introduce Tim as part of Music Peeler, a law firm in Los Angeles. And yeah, so Tim, are you online?
Yes. Hi, Max.
Hi, Tim. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, it's great to see you online here. So Tim is a partner at Music Peeler, as Peter previously introduced. The firm's been working on a number of activities in the States here. But one of the discussion topics that we have today is to discuss nonprofit organizations, specifically public charities and private foundations. And as Tim explained some of the concepts, I'll try to do my best to add a little bit in Chinese for our Chinese audience as well. Is that all right?
可以，我就直接讲中文就可以。
好 ，OK， 好 ，OK. So okay, so I think it's better if we have a little bit of English and then switch to a little bit of Chinese as well, because we have audiences on both sides. So okay. Tim, if it's all right, could you introduce yourself a little bit and your firm a little bit and kind of what you guys work on in terms of nonprofits?
可以。
好。
那个我的事务所，我想大概很多人都来 KDP 的人，大家都来过了啊。那我们事务所有150位律师啊。那在 estate 跟 trust 还有这个 tax exam organization 我们做非常多了。我们事务所其实是这方面起家的。我们是从代表那个 Getty Trust Getty Foundation 帮他整个 Getty Family 还有当时他还有 Getty Oil 开始。那是在70年代了。那现在我们是一个 full service firm。那我个人主要是做 corporate 的工作corporate finance business 还有只要客户要付钱，我大概会就会想办法做。
OK 好 ，Tim 非常欢迎你哦。这个今天辛苦你了，对啊，现在对呀，这个对。那今天大概有1个小时的时间，要麻烦你，因为我们这一个是有蛮多的他可能在中文方面不是听得很懂啦，所以等一下可能要麻烦你用英文来做一些解释，然后 Max 会做一些翻译这样子，对，那 Tim 我想在这方面是非常有经验的啦，尤其我认识 Tim 大概超过20年了哈。那应该这些相关的工作，那都是 Tim 过去这么多年来都在进行的，所以你这个是非常熟的。那等一下我们就请 Max 来跟你做一些发问，做一些探讨。那最后 Max 这边也有准备一些问题啦，就是我们朋友的一些问题那可能多一点回答这样子。对，好，那 Tim Max 就麻烦你们喽。谢谢。好，我们继续。
Okay, okay, so Tim, I'm just gonna say in English and I'll translate my question in Chinese as well. So,
sure.
What are the different types of NPOs in the United States, and how do they differ from one another? I guess we should start with the fundamentals. 所以我现在问 Tim， 就是说，在美国设立的非营利组织，他们有哪些定义，或是说有哪些不同的方式去设立？然后呢，他们主要的不同的点在哪里？这样子，对。
Okay, I guess the nonprofit organization in the U.S. can generally be categorized in 2 groups, which are the public charity and the private foundation. And there's also under the so-called public charity, you have 501c3, you have 501c1, c2, c3, c4. Up to, God knows, probably C12. But we are less concerned about the other nonprofit organizations. I think when we talk about nonprofit, we mainly refer to 501c3 organization. 501c3 is a internal revenue code under which the foundations or the so-called nonprofit corporations are organized. The 2 categories of public charities and private foundations The main differences are the way you the way it's treated under the IRS rule. Under public charity, all the donations to a public charity is tax deductible, and private foundation donation to private foundations is tax deductible as well. But there's limitation to which you can enjoy the tax deductibility. For the public charity, you can deduct up to 60% of your aggregate gross income. We call it AGI. For private foundation, I believe it's around 30%. It's less. Yeah. And what the second primary difference is the way you recognize the entity. For public charity, you have to have at least 1/3 of your revenue or your donation from the public. We call it a public support test, meaning small donation. The way the IRS classifies small donation is those donation that constitutes no more than 2% of your annual donation, total annual donation. And for the private foundation, you could have, there's no such public support test. You could have all of your donation from a single person or a family. So that's the primary difference. Of course, there are also many other technical differences as well. So most people want to form private donation because they want to retain control over the private, over the fund under the private donation.
Got it. Understood. 所以我刚才就问 Tim 说，就是主要在美国的 NPO 里面有分为哪2种 category？ 那原则上就是有public charity 跟 private foundation 这2种不同的。然后呢，最主要就是 public charity under IRS 的规定里面会写说，就是这个就是进来的资金至少有1/3是要从小额的捐赠进来，然后就是这个小额捐赠就是不能超过年收入，这个等于这个基金会的年收入的2%这样子。那这个之后Roy 可能也会讲一些这些相关的细节。那接下来我们可能就讨论一下，就是说So I guess the next topic that I wanted to go through was maybe like, does your firm kind of work on an equal amount of both, or is there a stronger inclination to create one versus the other, and kind of what kind of shapes that sort of decision? 那主要就是问说，就是那 Tim 的事务所主要是做哪一种业务，还是2种都有做呢？还有哪一种客人会比较适合哪一种基金会呢？对。
并没有说特别说哪一种做特别多了not necessarily. We do both public charity and private donations quite a bit. I mean, personally for myself, I probably set up 2 to 3 private foundations a year. Maybe 1, 2 public charities a year.
Got it. Yeah. And so what's kind of the difference? Like what is the family looking for? Sort of usually I would assume a lot of these are high net worth families or entities that would want to set up such charities or foundations. What is a family looking for when they're setting up a charity versus a foundation typically?
Yeah, I mean, for charity, I mean, you are really looking to conduct the charitable activities yourself under the public charity. You need to recruit, most likely you need to recruit volunteers. You need to conduct your own program services. And for private foundations, more or less like a grant-making entities. I see clients set up private foundations, for various reasons. I think the primary reason being the private foundation allows a donor and descendants to control the foundation assets and charitable payouts indefinitely, even after the donor pass away. 有点跟信托一样无限期的控制了and then the family can control it, whereas in public charity, it cannot be controlled by the same family. It has rules prohibiting or restricting related family members, sitting on the board. Whereas private foundation, it has no such restriction. The second motive for setting up private foundation that I commonly see will be for us, for people who come from a foreign country. The individuals, if you want to donate to a foreign charity, your donation would not be taxable, would not be tax deductible in the United States. So if you set up private foundation, you can sort of, put your own fund into a private foundation and enjoy the tax deductibility, and have the private foundation make grants to your preferred or designated foreign charity, to support the organization you prefer. I think that the other motives that I see will be a private foundation can transmit values, by involving descendants in specific charitable causes for many generations. And the other motive will be it will encourage the consistency in giving, among your family members. And I also sometimes see people set up private foundation for public and community relations as well. Yeah. And I also, last but not the least, sometimes you see people set up private foundation for privacy reason. They don't want to give out grants, under their own names. So, if you set up private foundation, you can give out fund under your private donations name rather than your individual name. And those are the various motives that I see people setting up private foundation.
Got it. Yes, then I will translate that a little bit in Chinese, and then you can chip in if I'm not getting all the detail here. So以刚才Tim 有说，就是 public charity 跟 private foundation 大致上就是不同的家族可能会考虑这两个，有几个不同的考虑点这样子。那第一个可能是大家可能会蛮重视的，就是说如果你去设立的是一个 public charity 的话，那你家族要长久在这里面有控制权，其实是不容易的事情这样子。尤其是就是美国国税局有对这样子有相当多的限制，就是说如果是同一个家族或是就是有利益关系的人在同一个 public charity 里面的话，可能会在税务上会有一些问题这样子。那private foundation 就有一点相反，不只是不需要private foundation 不只是不需要那个33%是从就是外人去做小额的捐赠，它还可以就是让就是一个家族做所有这个foundation 所营运所需求的资金的捐赠这样子。那这样子就让这个家庭可以有蛮大对这个 foundation 的控制的权利，而且 IRS 也对 private foundation 比较没有那么大的规定去说一个家族不能去控制这样子的 private foundation。那其实设立 private foundation 也不只是就是税务上的关系，很多人设立 private foundation 像 Tim 所说的是因为他们想要对他们就是可能子孙去了解说就是他们想要怎么样子的捐赠方法，或是怎么样的捐赠形式，怎么样捐赠的主体这样子。 那这可能也可以让一些国外的人，因为国外的人正常在美国的收入是没办法是一定要缴税，但是如果他们有一部分他们的收入可以去捐赠给 private foundation 的话，那 private foundation 之后再去做相关的赠与给不同的 charity 也好，或是不同的去做不同的 grant 也好，他们都可以享受就是直接去捐赠给 private foundation 这个的 tax deduction 这样子。那另外是有些人可能设立 private foundation 也有别的目的，比如说他们想要捐赠大额的金额但是又不想要被大家看到说是某某去捐赠这样子的钱，那他可能设立的 private foundation 就会比较隐私一点，去让他去做这样子的捐赠的时候，这个家族不一定要马上把他们名字写出来，可以去做一个捐赠去不同的 charity， 但是又不用把这个家族名字写出来，直接把这个 foundation 名字写出来就可以了。So Tim, am I missing anything, or you think I got?
No, you did a very good job. 所以说一般来讲就是简单的来讲，就是你可以控制，那对我们这种移民的人来讲，你可以透过 private foundation 捐到国外，那你还可以 enjoy 这个 tax deductibility，那再来就是传承你这个价值观或是纪念你的家庭成员有的是做形象公关的大概基本上这些动机